This is the roster that has probably undergone the most transformation of any in the Big Ten. And I don't know that transformation is probably the wrong word. Like it had to be, it was going to be gutted no matter what because of how the previous coach's tenure ended. We're talking about Michigan State. Mel Tucker gets fired in September for off-field reasons. And then all of a sudden, exodus begins. Jonathan Smith gets hired from Oregon State. He decides who he wants to keep, who he wants to get rid of. He also decides who he wants to bring from Corvallis, including quarterback Aiden Childs.
Yeah, that's the bright spot. That is the biggest bright spot. And to your point, Andy, I mean, this team got beat up by the portal. Now, granted, is that Jonathan Smith's doing, right? By putting his hand on the roster.
I think that's Jonathan Smith going, we're going to year zero this bad boy, and I'm going to make this roster my own.
Completely agree. I think he's the real deal from Oregon State and what he was able to do. He knew what he had in Aiden Childs. That guy, I mean, we had him highly rated at On3 as well. He's expected to be the starter. This is a guy with great arm strength, very good pocket presence. His ability to get the ball out quickly and on target is phenomenal. Really liked him at On3. Very excited about him. This team needs a guy to step up, though, as a pass catcher. You know, you have Malik Carr transferring to Houston. Trey Mosley goes off to the NFL. You lose some good pieces up front on defense, too, and By Job, Simeon Barrow, Derek Harmon to the portal. And my goodness, Andy, if you're a Michigan State fan, buckle up. Make sure you got the safety harness on. Keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. You're about to go on a roller coaster of a season, in my opinion. I think when you look at the schedule, it's very possible for Michigan State to start the year 4-0, right? Close that one out with Boston College. You're in a good spot. But then look at the 4 games after it. I mean,
it gets nasty.
Oh my goodness. Ohio State at home, Oregon on the road, Iowa at home, and Michigan on the road. Good. I mean, you want to talk about an emotional swing right there? That is brutal. And then maybe you split those last 4 games. But I mean, up and down, Andy. I don't know what you see.
I've got their ceiling at 7-5 and their floor at 3-9, just because we don't know what this will all look like when you put it together. Right. Here's the thing. Based on what we saw at Oregon State, I'm very confident in a few years, you're going to like what you're seeing.
Absolutely.
Like Jonathan Smith didn't do it in a sexy way, but built a team at Oregon State that would just beat your ass up front. But that didn't happen overnight. 2018, he went 2-10. 2019, he went 5-7. We don't count the COVID year, especially in the Pac-12, because of how weird everything was. It was 2021, which is his 3rd full season. Then they start to turn it around. They go 7-6. They make a bowl game. They're above 500 in conference play. Then they go 10-3 the next year. So, like, I think you can do that faster at Michigan State. I think it's much easier to recruit to Michigan State than it is to Oregon State.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think it will take a little bit of time.
Right. But that's what I was going to say. I mean, this guy develops and identifies talent as good as anybody. Is this year going to be the year where they make the gap? No, it's not. This is not the year where they close the gap. But year 2, year 3 under Jonathan Smith, I mean, I think you're crazy if you don't think he's going to turn the ship around. But yeah, I have their best case at 8-4, and that's if Aiden Childs steps up and wins you some games. Worst case being 4-8. That gap's still big. If the skill guys don't pan out, the defense has a tough time up front. Andy, the Spartans are in for an interesting year 1, but I think it only gets better if you're a Michigan State fan.
Yay! And then we see in that back third of the season, is it yay or is it okay?
Yep. We're gonna stock up or down. I think the arrow is going to be pointing. It'll be very interesting to see where that arrow points at the end.
It's also a bit of a culture test, and I know culture is a bit of a buzzword, but look,
that's real.
It's real, and how you come out of that brutal second third of the season and where your attitude's at, where your team's at, it will be a good test of what Jonathan Smith and his staff have been able to do in terms of mentality. So I really can't wait to see it, because like we both said, ultimately, I think they end up pretty happy with the way things turn out with the Jonathan Smith hire, but there may be some bumps along the way. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, Subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On 3 Sports YouTube channel.